You have to learn how to shield yourself, or you're going to leave yourself open to dark entities and dark energies. If you don't know me, my name is Tracy, and I do past life regression, life in between life regression, and higher self hypnosis. I had a really interesting session last night with a woman who has been taken advantage of, blamed, and accused by people her entire life. She's been through a string of abusive relationships. And it all started when she was 7 years old. Of the two girls, she was her father's favorite, the golden child. But at 7 years old, these two other 7-year-old girls decided to frame her. They wrote with graffiti all over the bathroom wall and signed her name on it. When she protested and told the school and her family that it wasn't her, no one believed her. When she got home, her father beat her terribly. She screamed and said, "Why don't you believe me? I didn't do it. It wasn't me." And his response was, "It doesn't matter what you say is the truth. It matters what other people say is the truth. And the fact that you are someone that other people would be attracted to pin these things on. Like, what is wrong with you that people would do this to you?" From that point on, she was no longer her father's favorite, and she fell from his grace. Her grades took a turn for the worse, and she struggled for the rest of her life. And like I said, she had a number of abusive relationships, and it seems like people taking advantage of her and falsely accusing her was a pattern in her life. So she wanted to ask about this in her hypnosis session yesterday. And this is the part that I thought could be helpful to others. Her higher self said she is an empath, and she takes on other people's feelings as a way to connect with them, as a way to try to help other people. Now, this is really common. I hear this in a lot of my sessions, that we will take on other people's feelings, other people's emotions in an attempt to connect with them. It all happens on an energetic level, and we're not really even aware of it. But you may have noticed at times, sometimes when you're speaking with someone else, you may try to match their tone or their body language. This is an effort to connect with that other person, to relate to them. But what happens is that we can then become like a container for their energy, like a container for their feelings. Instead of the energy flowing through us and not affecting us, we tend to take it on. We bring it into our energetic space. We attach cords and all kinds of energetic connections to them, and then it affects us. All because we wanted to connect with them, to relate to them. Her higher self said, we are responsible for our own frequency, and we need to be in charge of setting our own frequency and not leaving it be dependent on what's going on with the other person that we're interacting with. We set the tone. It's our life. It's our energy. And to help us do that, we need to be shielding ourselves, shielding our energy. And shielding is actually really easy. But her higher self said, as many people's higher selves do, say you want to do this every single day. Her higher self suggested that she imagine a bright white light around her and then put mirrors on the outside of it. Why put mirrors on the outside of it? Because before her higher self put this shield on her, it had to remove all kinds of energetic attachments that she had on her, and her higher self described them as looking like gargoyles. It said she was full of these attachments because she was a soft landing space for other people's energy. And when I asked her higher self about those two little girls when she was 7, her higher self said they had negative attachments. They had negative energies on them. And it was that did the act to her and blamed her falsely. But she was a soft landing. She took it personally. She internalized everything that happened to her in that experience. Instead of letting all of that flow through her, she became a container for it and internalized it. So in summary, we want to practice not being a container for other people's energy, but we want to set the tone for our energetic frequency, no matter what's going on with the other people that we come in contact with. We want to be strong and powerful in our own energy, in our own frequency. We want to be conscious of this because it's not going to just randomly happen. We need to make this happen, keeping it in our mind anytime we're interacting with another person. and we want to shield ourselves. Again, putting that white light around us, and you can cover the outside with mirrors if you want to, because that will reflect those energies away from you. So if you feel like you're being drained of energy, or you have a tendency to attract really low frequency or really negative people who abuse you, take advantage of you, betray you, this might be something good for you to try.